So we're going to rev share all three of those types of buckets back to you guys. We're going to have you incent you to kind of work with us to kind of help the customer come to our site and maybe maybe the first offer to kind of get into the system, right? So hopefully we're going to come out of here maybe do a webinar.
What's up, Periscope? Ty Crandall here, live from the Credit Boot Camp, about ready to go on stage here in about 5 to 10 minutes. Thanks for the love. See, these guys are hanging out here. Say hi to Periscope.
Come here, let me say hi.
You can't take these guys anywhere.
Come on.
Welcome to the Credit Boot Camp. So I'm getting ready to go on stage in about 5 minutes. I'm going to take you guys with us today up on stage. We're going to be opening with talking about how to build business credit. We're going to be talking about business credit, what it is, fundamentals, benefits, and we're going to be then diving into exactly well, a lot of stuff. So we're going to be on in about 5 minutes. Wanted to give you a little bit of behind the scenes. As you can see, I'm mic'd up. These guys here do tax relief. See that? So everybody's new to Periscope here. Nobody seems to know Periscope. This is the crew right here. These are the people that make all the stuff happen. See, there's Tal. Say hey, Tal.
Hey, Tal.
What's up? See,
What's
you get some
up?
hearts. Periscope. This is the team here. Everybody say hi to everybody on Periscope. Yeah. All right. So see, this is the behind the scenes version here. And I'm getting ready to jump on stage here in probably less than 5 minutes. And what we'll do is I'm going to hand the phone to somebody else and have them film as we actually go live. So I'm excited you can be here with us today. The schedule's got changed a lot, so there's a lot of people that have kind of come before. We've messed up the schedule a little. So I think originally I told everybody I was going to be on at about 2:15, and now it's going to be closer to 3:15, I think, is when we're actually going to get on live. So you're going to get to see, I don't know if you've ever been to an event like this. We've got about 200 people in attendance and a ton of different speakers. This boot camp in particular is all about credit repair. It's about how credit repair companies can use tactics, compliance, marketing, all different kind of strategies. I have so many things going on here. I wish I could actually tell you guys or have you guys with us on every session, but unfortunately I can't because it's kind of crazy here. So what we're going to do is today we're getting ready to go on there. I can't wander too far from the stage here, but you can see there's a lot of people hanging out here in the hallways here, and there's going to be a lot more people. Everybody else is in the room right now getting ready. So I'm going to be going on here in a matter of minutes, and then we'll get to the actual show. I wanted to give you a little bit of behind the scenes action so you can see what happens on these shows. Hello. Oh, Cheryl, what's up, man? Cheryl, welcome to the actual the Periscope here. Welcome to the scope. So I'm glad you can be here. I wish you could be here at the actual boot camp with me, but since you can't, this is the next best thing. So should be going on. I'm just checking the room here real quick to see. Let me show you a little bit of what's going on right now. Hold on. People are joining now.
I'm about to introduce Ty Crandall live to the stage to all these great people from all around the world. Wait a minute, you're going to see.
Here we go. So here we go.
Right, we're working with us. Robbie Birnbaum is working on what I call the agency side. A guy named Bob Belair, who's Equifax is outside general counsel, and we're on the debt buyer side, right? Scott Herman, executive vice president of CredLogix, is one of our board members. So we really have done, I think, a lot of technology build, who's who, well funded, and we're going to launching now with you guys. So listen, I appreciate you guys' time. Come by and see me in the booth. I'm just going to be here today.
All right, here we go. Getting ready to go on the stage in right now. So we're going to take you with me, take you the walk on stage, and you're going to get to see this whole thing live. So we'll see what happens here. Hold on.
You think that that's going to help you? You think that's a solution that will help you clients? That's why we wanted to bring it to you first. You guys are truly the first people to get this, so make sure before you leave today, spend a little time with Mike at his booth and sign up. In the coming weeks, we'll be doing additional trainings about it, show you guys how to implement this, show you guys how to use it. It's a simple system that will get results for you. Now, coming up next, I wanted to personally introduce this person. Years ago, we used to be a little bit competitive because we had desks next to each other in the mortgage industry. So my desk was here, his desk was here, we had a wall separating us. but the wall didn't go all the way to the top. So we can hear each other talk, and when we had a client, I don't know why I had this, when we had a client, we could easily say,
"You've got mail."
Exactly what's going on, no question. So, because we're a little competitive, and we wanted to have fun in the office too, we're in the mortgage business, you have the account executives who would come around and give you toys and tchotchkes and all this stuff. So, occasionally in the middle of a meeting, most of the time when it was his client, I would just get an urge to spike a volleyball over the wall. It was fun. He took it well, his clients took it well, but since that time we have been close to friends. We followed each other in our careers and partners in business moving forward. And then ultimately, Ty now is the CEO and owner of Credit Suite. So I want everybody to give the absolute loudest, warmest, amazing, cheerful, fun, show everybody and show Ty how much fun you've had this weekend, and give him a loud round of applause. Welcome, Ty Crandall.
Thank you so much. Thank you all very, very much. So I don't mind, but I have a few hundred friends on Periscope that are going to be joining us today from all around the world, because a lot of people couldn't make it. So they asked me to live stream, and I said, sure, why not? Never done that before. So if you don't mind, on 3, if everybody can yell really loud, "Hi Periscope." 1, 2, 3. Hi Periscope! Thank you. All right, so now back to the top 10. Thank you very much. I appreciate you helping. All right, so let me give you, how's everybody doing? You guys enjoying everything so far? Yeah. Great info. So I'll tell you a little bit about my journey here. I actually owned a mortgage company back in 2006, as Michael was telling you. And that was the prime of the mortgage industry. Like, that was the time where, how do you turn this thing down, by the way? Because volume down, we'll figure it out. I might not even need this. But that was the time where you couldn't do any wrong. Like, if you were a mortgage broker, you just had money. Like, you could suck at business and you could still completely succeed. Like, you couldn't fail. Until you could. Within a couple of years, the whole industry would collapse. And it's one of those things in my life, I'll never forget where I was. I came into the office, we had a couple of deals that needed to be done, and the lender wouldn't close the deal. We couldn't figure out why, they couldn't tell us why. And so what would inevitably happen is we would try to think no problem. We would try to send a couple of deals to a couple other lenders, and they were telling us they weren't accepting deals. The whole thing was a head scratcher. Within 48 hours, the whole industry would collapse. The news would have nothing other than this for the next 6 months to a year. And my job of being able to get people home loans immediately went away overnight. And it's funny when something like this happens in your life. It's not funny, but what inevitably happens is you spend years accumulating assets and saving money, and you build your credit, and you do all these things. And literally, in my life, in a matter of months, it was gone. You know, I stayed in too long. We tried to use personal money to be able to pay our employees and hold on as long as we could. And inevitably in my life, I ended up having to close down that business. And it sounds so nice and simple to say close down a business, but the reality is that, you know, I had to lay off a lot of people that I consider to be friends that had worked with us for years. You know, we had to go through a painful thing of not being able to pay our obligations and everything that goes along with that. And inevitably, what ended up happening was I personally guaranteed everything in my business because I didn't understand there was a better way. And as an entrepreneur, it wouldn't have mattered anyways at the time, because quite honestly, I never expected to fail. That's just the way we are, right? It's the way we all think. But again, what I learned there is there's so many factors out of your control that sometimes there's just things that you don't have an option in. So that was by far one of the hardest times of my life. I remember the money being taken out of my bank account by creditors that I owed, and money that I didn't really have there because I had checks written against the money that was in the account, so that was even worse. I remember literally sitting in front of my garage in tears because they'd shut off my electric, I had no money to pay it, and I was trying to give them bad checks, bad check numbers from accounts that were closed. I was desperate to just try to get my power on in my home. But the worst of it was I remember being in the family room of my home, and my wife and I hugging with the only light in the house being the moving truck outside, and her asking me why this is happening to me. And it's still a really emotional thing for me because, you know, when you're running responsibilities to take care of your family financially,
you've got mail.
You lose the ability to do that. It's one of the worst things you'll ever go through in your life. And I hope that nobody here ever has to go through that. But out of adversity comes something else, And at that point in my life, something changed. And what changed my life was that all of a sudden money didn't seem to be as important. And I kind of started to shift focus and have more of a greater importance of helping people. Of doing whatever I could to try to relieve their pain, as I wish somebody was there to be able to... Do you have the clicker by any chance? To actually relieve my pain. And so I got into credit repair. I opened a credit repair business. And I opened a credit repair business because we've been helping people fix their credit, and it was something I knew, and I knew everybody was going to be going through what I was going through, having good credit, and losing it all literally overnight. And so we started helping people fix their credit. And, I don't want to leave it all negative, because it wasn't. And a lot of good things happened out of this time in my life, including... Okay, that's good. How do I turn the volume on this second? All right, because I'm like really loud, like nobody wants to hear this. But this is one of the good things that happened to me in my life, is that, my wife was with me when we had money, and she was with me even stronger when we didn't. And that's powerful. Like when you find somebody in your life that really cares that much about you and is there when the getting's good and when it's not, then it's awesome. And, since then I've been blessed with her giving me these two amazing kids, my son Cash and my daughter Chanel. And we fought our way back. I got as close to bankruptcy as you can get. Paid the bankruptcy attorney the money I basically didn't even have to pay him. Filed the paperwork, which if anybody's filed for bankruptcy knows it's not a little bit, it's a lot. And I backed out at the last minute, decided to fight my way back. And I did. And we got our house, and today we raise our kids in that same home that we built our home to raise our kids in. And it was a long road, but we made it back. And I say I lost everything, but I gained a new appreciation for my wife and for my family and for what's really important in life. And as we went into the credit repair business and I continue to help people, it's interesting in credit repair because a lot of people don't think you can do what you can do, which is frustrating. Like you can help them and you look at the credit report and you're like, I can rock this. And they're like, man, I think credit repair might be bogus. And you're like, you're kidding me. Like, why are you even talking to me? And you prove yourself. And then what happens is it's like a switch is clicked. And you go from, I don't know, man, I'm scared. And then they get the first round of disputes in the mail. And then it's like, oh my gosh, what just happened? You got like 30 deletions on my credit report. And they're freaking out. And then they come to you and say, what else can you help with? And so this was a constant thing. A lot of people would ask me what they can help with, what we can help with. And a lot of people started asking me about what business credit was. And at the time, I'd spent a decade plus in financial services, and I had really no idea what business credit was. So I did what all of us do that are entrepreneurs when we have no idea what somebody's asking us. I said, oh, business credit. As I went to Google to type in business credit, and I said, oh, well, business credit is credit for a business, and started reading pretty much what's in the encyclopedia, right? Or in Wikipedia. So eventually, people would continue to ask. And a friend of mine would ask, and I would feel like I wasn't doing him a disservice by not knowing. So I said, you know what, I'm going to look into this. I'm going to figure this out for both of us. And I dove in. And as I dove in, it's one of those times, if you're a woman or man that plays with video games, it's one of those times where you sit down and you look up and like 6 hours have passed. Well, that was my internet search that time. And when I came out of it, I realized I had to dig deep, but I realized what business credit was, and it blew me away. I absolutely could not believe that something like this existed. And I instantly became very frustrated and upset that other people weren't talking about it. A way to get money when you can't get money. A way to build credit for your business where you're not personally liable. All the heartaches I went through in that time of my life could have been prevented if I would have known about business credit. But my dad raised me that you never complain about a problem unless you're willing to produce a solution.
That's right.
Right? So in that moment I said, I can't be angry at the system. I have to be that guy. I have to be the one that stands up on the highest mountain and educates everybody about the power of what this is. So that's exactly what I'm here for today, is I'm here to empower you, so hopefully business credit can give you even a ridiculously small percentage of what it's given me in my life. And hopefully you can avoid the pain and the heartache that came into my life by not knowing it was there, not having it. And if you choose to do nothing with it, you choose to do nothing with it. But I at least need to do my responsibility to do what I believe my purpose is here on this planet, which is to be able to educate you and give you the choice to know. So today, let me ask you, how many of you do you think right now could stand up here in front of the audience and at least give people a general idea of what business credit is and how it works? Okay, so that's like, wow, I can't even say 10% of the room. That's like 5% of the room. Okay, so I've got a lot of work to do. Okay, so the clicker doesn't work, so this might be a very difficult time here to actually, let me see. Can you get this? You guys have another clicker by chance that may work? We have. All right, so plan B. right?
Yes.
Oh, we run a business. That's fatal. See what happens now. There's a beautiful whiteboard here in the corner. That's exactly what we'll do. All right, so let me tell you exactly what business credit is in the simplest form possible. Business credit is like this. Now, I will tell you, my 5-year-old daughter's artwork is significantly better than mine, so no laughing, please. This is you, well, right here, right? And you have, and that marker is done, you have linked to you a social security number, right? And then linked to this social security number is what we've been talking about today, right? It's a credit report, okay? So, your business also, you got to figure out what's going on. Thanks, man, appreciate it. So your business here, store up here, store. Boom. I said no laughing. I specifically said no laughing at my artwork here. This is beautiful. Look at this. This is gorgeous. So your business has linked to it an EIN number, right? And linked to your EIN number is another credit report, right? But you can see these two are completely separate from each other. So as an individual, you have a credit report that's linked to your social. And as a business owner, you have a credit report that's linked to your EIN. Now here's the reality. It doesn't matter if you know this or not, it's there, right? So if you don't know it's there and Experian knows you exist, well then your score sucks. Because they check with your utility companies, they check with credit issuers, they check with lenders. They have all these sources that give them data. So if they know you exist, you have a 12, you have a 20, you have a really low score. And you'll get denied just because they know you exist and you don't have a credit profile and score. Okay, so with business credit, the goal here is to build a credit report that's linked to your EIN for your business. So it's separate from what your actual personal credit report is. That's linked to you as an individual. Now what's beautiful about business credit is that it's linked to your business, not you as an individual. Which means that you're not personally liable for it. Okay? Which means there's no personal credit check to obtain it. Ding, ding. So imagine a credit repair being able to help any of your clients that own a business or want to start one, build a credit profile and start obtaining high-limit revolving credit accounts for that EIN number that's not linked to the social, regardless of how good or bad their personal credit is. Could that be of value? Yeah. Pretty cool, right? The best part for me personally is that you don't have to personally guarantee this. You're not personally liable. It's this simple. A lot of people think they have business credit accounts. If you provided your social security number on the application, you are liable. It's that simple. It doesn't matter if your business name was on that application or not. What matters is if you put your social on the application, you are personally liable for that debt. So what we've got to do is we've got to build a credit profile here that's linked to the EIN and not the actual personal social. So now you've got two separate credit reports, and now when you need money, they're going to pull this. You don't let them pull this, and they make the approval decision based on this. Make sense? Yes. So the key to this is we've got to build a business credit report, and then you have to tell them, oh, you want my social security number? No, thank you. I'm not going to give you my social. And they'll say, oh, we have to have your social. And you say, no, we don't have to have your social. What I want you to do is approve me based on the merits of my business. And what they will do is do what they do anyways and don't tell you because there's no Fair Credit Reporting Act in the business world. They don't have to tell you they're pulling their reports even though they are. They're going to pull this and they're going to say, oh, wait a second. This person has some trade lines. This person has a credit profile. This person has a credit score. And then they're actually going to be able to approve you. Oh, look at that. See, well, I can't believe I caught that. I should act like that wasn't a surprise as much as it was. So then what's going to happen is they're going to make the approval decision based on this instead of this. So what can you do with business credit? What can you do with personal credit? Credit cards, it makes you more lendable for loans. You can obtain equipment leasing. It makes you more lendable for commercial mortgages. The exact same thing you use your personal credit for, you can do exactly for your business in the business credit world. Okay, so the one thing you need to know is that every highly successful business has business credit. So for example, here's a look at how many trade lines Facebook has. Okay, here's a look at how many trade lines Dell has, about 83. Okay, you can see here how many trade lines Microsoft has, about 130. Apple's been around about the same time with 138. Here's Pilot Flying J with 153 trade lines. Okay, and I'm going to put this here so if anybody forgets what we're talking about, there you go. My beautiful art. Publix, here in Lakeland, 171. Walmart, let me tell you something about Walmart a lot of people don't know. They're freaking brilliant, we know that. I'll tell you why they're brilliant. Because 80% of what they sell, you pay for before they buy it. That's why they're the #1 retailer in the world. Here's how it works. They go to Bounty, they use business credit to buy Bounty paper towels. They put paper towels on the shelf. You come in, you give them money, you buy the paper towels, they take your money, they pay off the credit they used. Pretty freaking brilliant, right? That's why they're the #1 retailer in the world. That's why they have 513 trades. That is more than all the ones combined that I just showed you are pretty close. This is how you get big. It's called OPM.
Other people's money.
Yeah, baby! Now we're talking the same language. OPM. Look, I'm a Dave Ramsey fan. But the reality is that in business, the better you get at using OPM, the more successful you are. This is why all these big companies get seed capital. Because what happens is they get access to money, you can expedite your growth at a level you never can if you bootstrap. It's that simple. Now, if you choose to bootstrap, God love you. I've done the same thing, okay? I respect that. But if you want to expedite growth, it comes down to having access to other people's money. But here's the deal. We don't have to talk about big companies. Okay, this is one of my buddies, for example. A little bit into the business credit building process. 8 trade lines, okay? He's not here at this conference, but usually he comes in. Here's Mars Incorporated, 22. So you're talking about somebody here that has a third as much as one of the biggest privately owned companies in the country. Okay, here's another one of our clients, Success Tax Relief. It's 14 trades. Mars, the people that make Mars bars.
You've got mail.
Trades, they have 14 in less than a year. So anybody can build business credit. That's the thing. It's just the problem is big companies have CFOs that teach them how, and you guys are stuck with me. That's it. You know me. But you might not know until now, and a lot of you don't, but that's exactly what we're going to cover, is how you can do exactly the same thing. So, for example, if we look at their actual business credit report, they're a 78 out of 100. Now, if you can see right here, those of you in the front row might be able to see it better. What does it say? Credit limit recommendation. What does that say? 64. Build your business credit. Then you don't get approved for anything. I talked to somebody the other day. It was a podcast host. We were on the podcast. I pulled her credit while we were live on the show, freaked her out. When we got off the show, she said, pulled my husband. Been in business 10 years, was recommended for $1,000 in credit with a 29 score. And her exact words were, I'm going to talk to him when I get home. I got one too. So here, for example, is exactly how they did it. And you can see. And maybe you can't see. I'll try to come up on stage. I'm not much of a stage guy. So they start here with net 30 accounts. $500, $800, small accounts, $100, $700, right? $400. These accounts report to the business credit reporting agencies. It gives them a profile and gives them a score. Then all of a sudden, the limits start to go up because now they're getting revolving credit cards that are based on the newly established score. I'm going to show you why business credit's awesome and how quick and easy it is to get a good score. Now they're up to $4,700, $2,300, $1,900, $1,900. And then all of a sudden, their credit profile has enough trades and depth for them to get a loan for $65,000. That's how business credit works, okay? Now to give you another example, and this is Mark. Mark actually is somebody that's on Periscope. Mark, hello, he's probably with us right now on Periscope. So Mark let us pull this live on Periscope. You can see here, Mark's been open for 22, or gets recommended for 22,000, 92 out of 100 score. You can see he's a nonprofit and been open since March of 2015, got incorporated. Less than a year and a half, already being recommended for 22 grand. Okay, you can see here exactly the same thing. Small trades, net 30s, $100, $100, $100, $100, $400, bam, 10 grand, bam, 4 grand. You can also see if you look close enough, what's this say? 92 out of 100 score with the charge-off. Okay? Because business credit scores are based on how you pay. So because there's so much paid as agreed, can still be able to get a good score. It's more forgiving than consumer credit. So business credit's awesome for a lot of different reasons. First of all, it doubles your borrowing ability. Has anybody ever heard of CPN numbers? They're crap. They're completely bogus. Okay, can you get a CPN? Sure, anybody can, but you can't use it in place of a social legally. So all these people try to find these non-legit ways to build secondary credit profiles and score, and they're all crap. But business credit's the one legitimate way you can create 2 credit profiles. You have one as an individual, you have one as a business. So because you have to, now you get access to double the borrowing ability. So if you go into Staples today and you say, Staples, I want a credit card, and Staples gives you a credit card, and then you go in tomorrow and go, Staples, I want a credit card, they're going to say, no, dude, you already have a credit card. But if you went into Staples today and said, I want a credit card, they give you a credit card. You go in tomorrow and go, well, now I want one for my business. They pull it for your business. They give it to you for your business. You get two. You get double the borrowing ability because you have an individual credit profile. You have a business credit profile as well. As well as that, it also makes you more lendable. We just saw that, right? The business credit, the quality of your credit, the amount of trade lines on your credit, you saw firsthand. It determines, one, will you get approved or denied? We've seen people with $3 million revenue companies get denied for $10,000 credit cards because they had no business credit established. And you know what the denial reason is? No business credit established or lack of business credit. So here's the deal. We're used to this law called the Fair Credit Reporting Act. And there's this thing in the FCRA called permissible purpose. Everybody has to have your permission to pull your actual credit report, and they have to tell you if you get denied based on the information that's in the FCRA. FCRA does not apply in the business world. So they're pulling your credit every time you apply for anything to do with your business. The problem is they ain't telling you it's happening. So it's determining whether you get approved or denied, and it's determining how much you get approved for or denied for, as well as the terms you pay. So if you ever want to get an SBA loan, you ever want to get a regular loan, you ever want to get a good credit card with good limits, then it is necessary that you have to have business credit. If you don't, you're not lendable. You can't even get an SBA loan without having business credit because they pull a score called FICO SBSS. It's your small business FICO score. And if you have an 850 consumer credit score, your FICO SBSS will not be high enough to qualify for any kind of SBA loan unless you have business credit established. It's a rite of passage. You have to have business credit established. It's an absolute necessity. Now, this is the biggest benefit for those of us in this room, is that there's no personal credit check. It's nothing to do with personal credit, which means that what I'm going to show you today, and I'm not going to just tell you all these fancy little things, I'm going to show you exactly how this is done. You can get it without a personal credit check. How do you do it? Simple. You come in, you get a few accounts that report to the business credit reporting agencies, you pay them as agreed, and just as you saw, that gives you a profile, it gives you a score. With the profile and score, you're then able to qualify for revolving credit. Then you can say, no thank you, I'm going to leave my social off. So we've got to find vendors, which I'm going to show you today, will give you credit when you have done, that report to the business credit reporting agencies, and when those vendors report, they give you a profile, they give you a score, they give you trade lines, and with that, you can then start getting high limit revolving credit cards. Okay? Now, another thing, and I'll go back, is another thing with it not having anything to do with personal credit is, did we all learn something this weekend about FICO scores? Okay. So what percentage of the credit score of FICO is utilization? 30%. So 30% of the credit score has to do with utilization, okay? And what did John just get done telling you? Over 10%, you want to try to, he didn't say screwed, but that's what I would have said if I were him. You screwed. Over 30%, you're done. So if you get a $1,000 limit card and you put more than $100 to $300 on it, you're hurting your scores, right? This is what a lot of business owners do. They go get a Capital One Spark card and they're like, boom, baby, got a business account, and they pull their personal credit card and they're like, what's up with this? How's that on there? And then all of a sudden they use it and their scores tank. And then their ability to get mortgages and personal credit cards and everything they really need to use credit for in their business is screwed because they actually use their personal credit. The accounts are reporting on their personal credit. Real business credit is where you're doing it on the business credit report and there's no link. It's separate than the personal credit report. 10% of the credit score has to do with inquiries. Every time you give them your social, you actually lower, well, not every time, but you face the risk of lowering your score, especially when you're applying for a lot of credit in a short period of time, those groupings. But since there's no link with business credit and personal credit, there's no inquiries, you don't affect that aspect of your score, as well as you also don't affect the utilization of your score. This is one of the best things. I wanted to own a credit repair company, okay? And just so you know, I sold that credit repair company many years ago. I may be one of the only people you'll actually talk to who's actually started, built, and sold a credit repair company, okay? And I did it in large part due to what business credit did for our business. And I'll get into that if you're coming back for the next session, which happens like 30 minutes after I'm done here. So fast establishment of business credit profile and score is what made us so successful. What happened was we incorporated business credit into our business because people asked. I figured out what the answer was. We found a way to start actually offering business credit. And in doing so, we could take somebody and fix their credit in 6 months. They were pretty happy. Then we could take somebody and fix their credit within 6 months and build them like $60,000 worth of revolving business credit, and they were like a little bit happier. Like a little bit happier. Think about this for your customers. What would it be like in your world if you could fix their credit within 6 months, and then you could turn around after that during the exact same time period, you could then build their business credit and get them a $3,500 Amazon account, a $7,500 Apple account. Mark, who I just showed you, who's months into building his business credit, the 92 out of 100 score, he just actually was on Periscope Wednesday with me, and that's exactly what he did. He emailed me $3,500 Apple account or $3,500 Amazon account he talked about on the scope, and then later that day got approved for a $7,500 Apple credit account, regardless of his personal credit, within months of starting building business credit. So this is what business credit can do for you and your customers. Not only can it help separate your liability, not only can you get the money to start your business or to grow your business, get the office supplies, get the computers, get access to everything you need, okay, which makes sense, without it being on your personal credit, any of it, but now imagine being able to get all this credit for your customers at exactly the same time that you're fixing their credit, and how more empowering they are in their life to have both. And I'll tell you, when we stop letting people ask us about business credit and start asking them if they owned a business, 25% of them said, yeah, I own one or want to start one. Which means 1 out of 4, we were signing up for credit repair. We had an opportunity to present business credit. And those that didn't know about it, we started to talk to them about it. They said, yes, where do I sign? I'm in. That's awesome. Because we gave them the ability to start obtaining high-limit accounts very quickly that they never could have had any other way. Look, even when we fixed the personal credit, they still couldn't go get a $7,500 Apple account. They still had a recovery period before they could rebuild back to that point, but not with business credit. So business credit scores are based only on one factor. We've seen this. This is the biggest train wreck I've ever seen, FICO. I mean, it really is a train wreck. Because if you think about it, it punishes you for doing what you need to do. So if you come in to get the right credit mix, and you're applying for mortgages, car loans, credit cards to get the right mix, right? Well, then aren't you putting inquiries on your credit report and affecting that part adversely? Or maybe you come in and get a new car loan or get a new account, and then all of a sudden you're affecting the utilization. So literally, if you look at the way FICO works, when you try to fix one aspect of a score, I need more payment history, I'm going to get more accounts, we're going to lower this. It's like trickery. It's like trickery. You have to be a magician to fix this thing. Like, we need a wizard. We need a wizard to get it. John has left. I think he actually left the building. He was like, this guy he's so legit, I don't even want to be here to answer the questions after Ty's up there. So he just left. He headed for the play. But the reality is that, as John is talking about FICO, and he did an article and a blog post. Did anybody read his blog post about how to get to an 850 credit score, where he only interviewed people with 830, 850 scores, right? It was awesome. It was powerful. And let me tell you what it takes. Like, he had to have a credit card for 12 years before he even got there.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. So to get there in the consumer world, it's tough. You know what it takes to get there in the business world? 4 accounts, paid early. Whew, I'm tired. That was exhausting. I have to get accounts and pay them on time or early? Yes. And you get a good score. This is literally the Paydex score, the most well-known score in the business world. Here's exactly how it's based. And there's only one other factor. It's called weighted value, which means the higher limit accounts you have are worth more to the score than the lower limit. Here's how it works. If you have people, and I have these people all the time, they go, man, I don't need business credit. I got an 80 Paydex. I'm like, dude, that's awesome. Congratulations. You pay your bills as agreed. Awesome. That's what an 80 means. Literally, it means your payment is prompt. You pay your bill on time. How many people in this room think they can pay a bill on time? 80 Paydex is for everyone. Because literally, that's all you have to do. I'm like, now you understand why why do people not know this? This is insanely easy. You get accounts, they report to the reporting agencies, you pay them as agreed, you get a good score. Now, of course, there's a lot more to it, and I'll map out the steps. But the score is so easy to, I don't want to say manipulate, I'll say control, because it's based literally on how you pay your bill. And I don't want to do this over 3 slides. I can tell you what a 32 means. It literally means exactly how late you are paying the accounts on average. So this is exactly what we're going to do today. This is exactly what we've got to do for your customers. We've got to get accounts that report to the reporting agencies, get them paying and pay accounts as agreed, and then you actually get a good score. But this is why I love business credit, because you're not personally liable for what happens in your business. Let me tell you something from experience. It is your responsibility, once you know there's a choice, to stop guaranteeing all this crap in your business if you don't have to. And no, I'm not going to say you're going to go get some $250,000 loan with no PG, and anybody that tells you that that's the case is full of it, because it's crap. Okay, the more big loans, the SBA, they're going to still want a PG. But if your business credit's not established, you're not going to get it anyways. But you can still get a $7,500 Apple, you can get a $10,000 Dell, you can get a $5,000 Kanoko, you can get a $10,000 Amazon, all of that without the guarantee. So 80% of what you need to fund your business you can get with no liability, while building your business credit profile and score. And that's something we should all be focused on, because although we think we may never fail, I can tell you from experience, there are things out of our control that we don't have a say in. Like, that's just the way, and we just deal with what we're handed. So I can tell you from somebody that's had the money ripped out of their bank account, I can tell you where all my assets were taken because of what happened to my business. Don't do it. If you have a choice, why would you want to? With business credit, you actually have that choice. There is no personal liability. Now, business credit approval limits are 10 to 100 times higher than SBA. Has anybody in here ever got a $10,000 Dell credit card on the consumer side? Nobody. The entire room, right? Let me tell you why. Because nobody in this room is going to buy freaking $10,000 worth of home computers. It ain't going to happen. You don't have a need for it. That's what credit is. It's based on capacity. You don't have an appetite. You don't need a capacity you do in the business world as you do in the consumer world. Can anybody in here envision having an office where $10,000 you could fill with computers pretty easily? Okay, yeah. Okay, like nobody in here plans on being successful. There's like 3 people that are like, yeah, dude, tomorrow, yes, hello. The rest of them are like, let me get to 1 first, please. Look, we have a greater capacity in a business than we do in the consumer world. It's just the reality. It's the reality we face. So because of that, the limits are substantially higher. The 10 to 100 times higher comes directly from SBA's website. So that means that if you're used to getting a $1,000 credit card in the business world, it's probably going to be 10. Okay, to get $10,000 credit cards, you know how much time that takes in the business credit world? How long would you think it takes?
60 days.
60 to 90 days to go from nothing to $5,000, $10,000 limit credit accounts. Pretty cool, right? Show me a world where that can happen to the consumer. It can't. Because FICO makes you wait 6 months to even get a score. I can get 12 trade lines right now, and if I have no credit, FICO will wait 6 months to even give me a score. In 6 months, we've got like $60,000 plus in business credit. How much you can get depends on how much you're applying for. She's like, yeah, all right? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. See? OPM. Perfect for startups. Look, it's tough to get money for startups. You know why? Because what happens to most startups? They fail. They fail. You know why they fail? No money. This system sucks. This is a horrible idea. Look, statistically, most businesses fail because they don't have money. And the second reason is because of management issues, which to me is one and the same. Because when you have more money, you can mess up more and be okay. Okay? You guys know Twitter's losing like a lot of money right now, right?
Yes.
Well, don't worry. Twitter could literally lose money at the current rate for 412 years and still have money. Not an exaggeration. That is exactly what the statistics are. I mean, who can lose money for 412 years and still have money to lose? We don't have that luxury, and our customers don't have that luxury. Okay? But the reality is, as a startup, we struggle to get money because these banks know that we fail when we're startups. So they give us this requirement, 3 to 5 years worth of tax returns. Well, okay, I'm done. So I've got to completely succeed to a point where I don't need money before you'll give me money. Sounds like a brilliant plan to me. And we don't blame them. It's not the bank's fault. They're federally insured. They have to be conservative in their risk. It's the hand they were dealt. Okay? And now with Dodd-Frank, they've actually come out with statistics, and those of us that were in D.C. for the NASCO event will tell you that now it's reduced by 15%. What they're issuing to us now has been reduced by 15% revolving credit with Dodd-Frank. So all these regulations make it where banks can't lend us the money. But business credit works even if you're just starting your business, you can still obtain business credit. Even literally, how many of you in here haven't even got your EIN, haven't even filed for your entity yet? Okay, the minute you file for your entity, the next step is you get your EIN and you can qualify for business credit. Everything I'm telling you here applies to people that just opened their doors or people that have been open for 10 years. There's no cash flow requirements. They don't make you provide tax returns. You don't have to provide bank statements. Okay, you don't have to have any collateral, which I have up here as well. So you don't need cash flow, you don't need credit, you don't need collateral. Business credit is the only way you can get money if you don't have cash flow, credit, collateral. On deck, every other alternative lender on this planet requires one of the three to lend you money as a business. Okay, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but that's the reality. Okay, I talk to people all the time. Look, here's the deal, man. I got a 520 credit score. No big deal. What kind of collateral do you have? I don't really have any collateral. Okay, so is your business up and running? Not yet, but what I need is $250,000 to get started. What do you think? I'm like, I don't have a Ouija board, man, but chances do not look good. Like, the outcome does not look favorable. And it's funny because these people call all the time. And my question to them is always the same. Let me ask you this, because I might have missed something. What makes you believe somebody should give you that kind of money? In most cases, the response to me is surprising. Well, I don't think anybody should. But yet you are looking for the money, and you're telling me that, like, that's what you're going to tell the banker? Look, I wouldn't do this. This is a bad idea. But it's the way the world is. But with business credit, you literally can do that. You can get money without the cash flow, without the credit, without the collateral. And it gives you a heck of a competitive advantage. Look, I don't think of any of us as competitors, okay? Michael and I have been friends for a long time. When he started the boot camp, I've been here every year at the boot camp since the first. And a lot of the people that are here that are veterans are my friends. And have been my friends now for 7-8 years because we've met each other at the boot camp. Jesse, we go back a long time, right? How long have you been coming to the boot camp? Yeah, so a lot of us that are close, we got close and we stayed close. We don't really consider each other to be competitors. But the reality is, I think as Derek said, right? Like, hey, you know what? If I can take you out, I'm going to take you out. No, that's not what he said? I must have missed that part of the presentation. Now, look, the bottom line is that you want to have a leg up. You want to have an advantage, okay? And you have an advantage by having access to money. If you have access to money, then you can instantly start getting things and growing at a level that your competitors can't. Okay, and as you offer as a credit repair company to your customers, you have a huge advantage because the guy out there that's just fixing credit in 6 months versus you that's fixing credit in 6 months at the same time of getting somebody $50,000, $60,000 in credit, obviously the person helping them get that credit has a huge advantage as well. No collateral requirements, which I mentioned. It's obviously easier to grow money or to grow a business when you have access to capital. So enough about it. What do you guys think? Does this make sense with everybody? Does everybody think we get it, right? Like, the idea of business credit. Some people are still like, I don't know, this sucks, I don't want the money, what's this guy talking about? The other people are like, yes. Okay, so let's talk about how to do this. So how do you build business credit? Well, the videos don't work, I was just told, so that's okay. So make sure your business is set up credibly. Number one. So here's the deal. Lenders and credit issuers have a secret set of requirements they absolutely will not tell you about. They're not allowed to tell you, okay? Our COO at Credit Suite was actually one of the biggest bankers with Wells Fargo, and she quit because people would get turned down for financing and she couldn't tell them why. It's crazy. You would lose your job if you told somebody why. And what's even crazier than that is the reason people would get denied. They get denied because the name on their application wasn't exactly the same as what the lender would find online. Can you freaking imagine that? Can you imagine, like, you got to get all this documentation, it's like 20 of these books together, right? And then you get it to the lender, and they deny you. And then, could you imagine what would happen if you knew it was because the first thing they did was look at your business name online and realize your application had ink and what they found online didn't, and you got denied? That's why they don't tell you. But that's the reality. That's one of the biggest reasons that people actually get denied is because the listings they have online are not congruent. So the first thing is you've got to set up your entity. Any entity can build business credit. LLC, corporation, sole prop, any entity can. But you should know that a corporation or an LLC, by default, help you separate liability. If you're a sole proprietorship or a partnership, you are the business, which means you're liable for what happens in the business. When you're an LLC or corporation, you separate the liability, and in doing so, you have the best chance of not being liable for what happens in the business. Which means if you get sued, they can sue the business, but they can't come after your personal assets. And if you didn't PG the credit you got for the business, well, you're pretty safe and sound. It's just an extra layer of protection because we all need to be protected. Okay, your business address. It needs to be a real physical business address. A lot of you work from home. That's cool. Get a virtual address. Go to a place like Regis, okay? Go to get a UPS address, okay? But do not ever use a home address. Because if you use a home address, it doesn't make you look credible. And if you're not credible, what's going to happen? Yeah, you're not going to get money. Lenders, credit issuers, they're not going to give you money. Because especially when you start building business credit, you've got nothing else on your credit report. So all that you put on the application is all they have to go based on, right? So you've got to have a real physical address. If not, you want to use a UPS address as third choice. Second choice would be a virtual address. Your phone number. You need to have a real business phone number. Voice over IP is more than okay. You can't use a home phone. You can't use a mobile phone. You use a mobile phone for your business? Good job. You can't do it. Use them. Look, if you want to get calls on your mobile, transfer. Like forward the call from Ring Central. It's like $15 a month for your phone line. But you have to have an actual business phone. You need to have a fax number for your business, which nowadays can be your phone number at Ring Central. It's like the same thing, same cost. They just give it to you as part of it. It should be a toll-free number. And it also needs to be listed with 411. Now, I like it. It's like it's listed with 4. I'm gonna say something. You say it back. You're thinking that? I love it. You're gonna be up here next. So look, 411 sounds easy, but it's not. You can't go to 411.com and get listed. The thing behind 411 is its legitimacy. That you can only get there naturally. Now we found a company called List Yourself that will list you on 411, and you can check, but it's about $20-30 a month. Okay, to actually do it. If you're new, you might need to do that. If you're established, look on 411 and see if you're there, but your number needs to be listed with 411. Okay, you also need to make sure you have a legitimate email address and a legitimate website. Okay, don't fill out an application and leave your website and your email address blank. Do not do it. Do not. That's not a good idea. And you especially, sir, do not put party due 2016 at Yahoo. You know this, but you're thinking it will not work. Yahoo, AOL, those addresses don't work. Okay, go to GoDaddy and splurge your $12 and buy your domain, and then they give you the email for free. It's so ridiculously cheap. And people ask me, does it need to be the same as your company name? No. But if you're thinking of a company name, like I would see if the website's available, it makes a good sense. Okay? I live on GoDaddy. Like people upset me, I buytheirname.com. I do it. I own like my GoDaddy account has like 100 people's names.com. I just feel better owning their name.com. I just feel better, right? Okay? And then if they really upset me, then I forward it to their competitor's website. Oh yeah, I know. There's people right in the room coming to the realization that I've done this to you. I understand. Because what happens? It's cheap to get websites. So go to GoDaddy, okay? And I know everybody else is getting all kinds of ideas. Look at this. You're all buying each other's websites right now on GoDaddy. Like the phones went up. They're like, I am buying my name right now. So look, it's cheap to get websites. It's cheap to get email addresses. Make sure you do it. Okay, because you need to have a legitimate website and a legitimate email address on the application. You need to have the proper licensing. So if you're required to have a license in your state, in your industry, with the county, you've got to get the proper licenses. Like you can't be a licensed plumber with no license and expect to get money because they're going to figure that out and they don't like it at all. So you need to make sure that you have legitimate licensing and that all of the documents online are congruent and offline. So the name, the address, the phone number on your Secretary of State should be the same as your bank statement, should be the same as your utility bills. Okay, it should be the same as everywhere they find online. I use a service called Yext, Y-E-X-T. Yext, I'm not going to tell you, I would do it maybe immediately. I would try to go to Yahoo and Bing and Google and update it yourself. But as you get more established, I use this service. I like them because what Yext does is they make sure that all my online listings are congruent for me. It just saves me money. It's an easy way to do it. Y-E-X-T, Yext. But you've got to make sure that your online and offline listings are congruent. And that's your business listings. Your EIN number, obviously you have to have an EIN number because it's what you're building the credit profile that's linked to, not your social. Okay? So you've got to actually have an EIN number, and that happens right after you get your entity set up, and for those of you that are just getting started. So you've got to get set up with the business credit reporting agencies and get your reports. Okay, how much do you think that your DUNS number cost?
Free.
It's free. How much do you think they will try to sell you an upsell package with Jesse? Jesse, you think that's funny? Did you have the call with him too? Yeah, I know. Mine was 45 minutes, and I almost bought from the guy. And this was last week. I'm like, sounds like a great idea. I mean, I had to shake myself out of it. These guys are good. They're really good. No, literally on Periscope, we built this live in front in real time. And so I actually went out for a business that we're building it for and got the D&B number, and I had the guy on the phone for 45 minutes. I mean, the guy was pretty freaking good. But they'll try to upsell you. They'll tell you your credit profile needs to be activated and you got to pay for it. They'll sell you a package called Credit Builder. You can buy it if you want. All Credit Builder does is it takes existing accounts you have and it adds it to the business credit reports. Okay, that sounds pretty good. The problem is that they won't let you add utilities, they won't let you add rent, they won't let you add credit cards, they won't let you add bank credit, they won't let you add landlords. I don't know what is left. Like that's the reality. If you go to Credit Builder on their page, you go down to the small print and you click, you'll see the restricted industry list. There's nothing you can really add. So because of that, and they only build your D&B score, so you don't need to pay for it. Your DUNS number's free. And if they try to upsell you and say, well, they'll call you and they'll email you and say it's urgent, and they get you on the phone and ask you all kind of questions. And it's like, honestly, it reminds me of being sold a Kirby vacuum cleaner. At Kirby, like they vacuum your floor, and then they show you what was in the carpet, and they're like, you are a scumbag. You are a dirty, filthy person. You do not buy my vacuum cleaner. That's kind of the way the pitch works, kind of. It's very similar. Listen, you will be a loser the rest of your life if you do not spend $1,500 right now. So you don't need to pay. It's actually free. You get your DUNS number for free, and you can get set up, do a search with Experian, Equifax, and DB, which are often free. And you want to make sure that you're set up and actually get access to your business credit reports, at least with Experian and DB, because you've got to monitor how many trade lines you have. No, well, that's a problem, because business addresses, your DUNS is linked to your address. So if you have multiple businesses at the same address, it will cause a conflict. So you got it. Now, if you have like a different unit number in that address, you'd be okay. So you want to run a search with each reporting agency. Okay, business credit reports are provided by Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, and Experian Commercial, or who offer them. Okay, each report has about 5 scores. D&B has up to 9 credit scores. Okay, and I don't have enough time and enough presentations to be able to walk through all the credit scores. Sometimes I do. And if you want to get set up, you can go to creditsuite.com/report, and we'll actually pull a free business credit report for you. We'll actually pull your credit report with CreditSafe. We can give you that report. We can't give you your Experian report, but we can pull your Experian report. Okay, we have the ability to it. And you know how much it costs? I can pull a credit report on any business without your permission. You know what that means? That means that I know for a fact that Donald Trump's credit sucks. Oh yeah, and look, I don't care if you're a Trump fan or not. I'm not saying either way. I'm neutral in this whole thing. I'm independent. I'm still waiting to be swayed. Talk to you later. Vote is for sale. But what I will tell you is that at 19 out of 100 ain't good, and that's what Trump Organization has as a credit score. I can pull any business I want to. You know how much it cost me? $7.95. So anybody can access your business credit. Your competitors, your prospects, your clients, anybody you want to sell your business to, your investors, is why you got to build your business credit. Okay, so you can go to creditsuite.com/report. We can actually talk to you and schedule a consult to get a copy of your report. So now we've made sure your business is set up credibly. We've looked to see if you're set up with the business credit reporting agencies. The next step is to actually get approved for vendor credit. So, bless you. So vendor credit are credit accounts that you can typically get on net 30 terms. It could be net 5, it could be net 10, it could be net 15. But these aren't revolving accounts. What that means is it means that you've got basically about 30 days to pay that bill instead of it being a revolving account. Like if you borrow $1,000, how much is owed within 30 days? It's $1,000, right? That's what net 30 is. So about 95% of trade vendors do not report to the business credit reporting agency. A buddy of mine called me the other day in a panic. He said, Ty, let me tell you what happened. He goes, I have a $50,000 credit line that I just tried to get raised to 100, and they lowered it to 5. He goes, because they said I have no business credit. He goes, I'm a media buying company. We buy media with all these stations. How is this possible? We pulled his business credit report. He had no business credit. Because he never takes the time to build it. It doesn't happen accidentally because most of the people you do business with don't report. See, it's not like the consumer world. We're so used to in the consumer world, if I get a Walmart credit card, got 10 minutes? I didn't know if you were waving at me or like, what was going on? Dancing? You're a good dancer. You're awesome. Yeah. My wife won't let me dance in public. So I would partake, and I can't do that. So 95%, business credit doesn't happen accidentally. It has to be intentional. See, in the consumer world, if we go into Walmart, Walmart says, I'll give you 20% off if you get my credit card. They're never going to go to you, I'll give you 20% off if you get this credit card that has absolutely no personal liability. You know why that is? Because you know what you will willingly give them? Personal liability. Right? Has anybody in here ever before learning business credit ever thought about going in and getting a credit report or getting credit without giving them your social? Like, did we even think this was possible? No. So they won't tell us, and most credit doesn't actually report. Now, vendor credit doesn't. Revolving credit actually does. So again, these are about 90, 10, 15, 30-day terms. Okay, you'll need to find vendors that do report and who will approve you with no credit already established. You should have about 5 of these what are called payment experiences on your credit reports to start getting high-limit revolving credit cards. Okay, and these, it kind of fluctuates. You'll see in our system it says 3 because payment experience means it reports to one reporting agency. So if I have an account that reports to D&B and Experian, how many payment experiences does that count? 2. So I say 5 accounts, it's really 5 payment experiences is what you need to get revolving credit. You must start with a credit profile and score with starter vendors. So many people fail here because they're like, dude, this guy said I don't put my social on the app, and they go in their bank legitimately and they're like, bring it on, man. I want the application. I'm not filling out my social. You can't jump ahead 20 steps. Like, you can't get a mortgage as you're opening an account on your personal credit report either. It doesn't work that way. You've got to start with starter vendors. You can't jump to actual revolving accounts first. And again, these are ones that will give you credit even if you have none now. Staples is not one of those. Here are some of those. Okay, there we go. Oh, man, that wasn't very nice.
You go back.
Uline, Quill, Monopolize Your Marketplace, Lockwood and Associates are just a handful. Seton is another one, for example. So if you want to know more, we've got a ton in the back. Right as you come out the doors to the right, you'll see our banners. Dave and I are out there, and we can actually show you our system, which has a lot of these starter vendors. So starter vendors, these people will give you credit if you have none. Now, some of them, like Uline and Quill, will make you do 2 or 3 orders first, okay, while others won't. And sometimes Uline will approve you and Quill will approve you even if you don't have orders first. There's a lot of variables. Okay, but if they make you order and they don't give you credit right away, they will. Okay, it's just you might have to do 2 or 3 orders. And once you come in, once you get credit, once you pay the bill on time, then the credit reports, and we saw what happened on real reports. Then you skyrocket and start making the jump to revolving accounts. Okay, and get approved. And there is another option around this, which is where you can get 0%. Has anybody seen 0%, $250,000 APR advertised places? Well, if you ever do it, it's called business credit. In my mind, it's not legitimate business credit because what it is it requires good credit to get approved. But if you have good credit, you can get approved for these kind of accounts that will jumpstart it. They report to the business credit reporting agencies. They do require good credit, but you can go in and get 150 grand in funding to actually get, even as a startup business, they report to the business credit reporting agencies. It's a way around vendor accounts. Because they'll give you credit that's like high limit accounts, report only to business reporting agencies, you build business credit, you get cash at the same time, which is pretty cool. Okay, and if you have questions, you can actually just get with us, and we'll tell you more about that program. We can even actually get you set up today, if that's what you wanted to do. So the next step is you get approved for store credit. Almost all major retailers offer business credit without a personal guarantee and without a personal credit check. Okay, Costco, Dell, Walmart, every one of these retailers. And like I said, almost every major retailer that exists today offers business credit. Now, none of them will actually advertise that they actually do offer business credit, okay, but they all actually do offer business credit. So all of these retailers, Apple, Dell, everybody that you see here, and a lot of other ones, Walmart, Amazon, these guys will all offer you business credit accounts without a personal guarantee, without a personal credit check. You actually have to try to find retailers that don't, because almost all of them do. Okay, and these are just, as you can see, I just literally ran out of room on the slide, which is why I stopped here. But almost all major retailers do. And again, you get approved after you get that initial business credit profile and score. Cash credit, here's the deal with cash credit. It's out there. You can get it without a personal guarantee. Some requires it, some doesn't. Some requires a personal credit check, some doesn't. But when you have established business credit, the next step is you can start getting approved for cash credit cards. Here's one, for example, with $7,000, $10,000. You can get fleet credit accounts you can use anywhere, and these type of credit cards, $8,000. This is one that's for $10,000 as well. $22,000 with Chase. Okay, so that kind of gives you an idea. So now let me ask you a question. By the way, There's a number right there you can text the word assets to. For those of you that know me, know that I give away like a whole bundle of assets here to anybody at the boot camp. What it includes social media content for credit repair, PowerPoints for credit repair, free guides and reports for credit repair, all that you can give your customers. I've got a couple ebooks as well that teach you what you should know as a credit repair company about business credit, how to build business credit, and map all this out. So everything is available for you right there. So I might have a little bit of time for questions, but I don't think very much. So does somebody have Marlon? What do you think? Did I do okay?
Fantastic.
So you've been through this. You use the system. What kind of credit have you obtained?
About $600,000.
$600,000. Real business credit without a PG. You have proof? Because I don't believe that. Like that's a big claim. Like you got to have like a whole book of credit cards if that's legitimate. Without a personal guarantee, without a personal credit check. Okay, so.
24 credit card, business credit card.
So following the exact same system was not correct.
Oh yeah, and I just got $42,000, no credit check.
Okay, how much?
$42,000.
$42,000 with no credit check. Guys, he's one person, but there's other people. We've had several people approach us that have also been able to get business loans. Everything in this room. So there's plenty of people, if you ask around, that have had this kind of, that actually had the exact kind of success I'm telling you about. So here's my next question. How many people now think they could stand here and tell people basically what business credit is and how it works?
Yeah.
All right.
I watch your webinars.
How do you make
Cool.
money?
All right, here you go. Mic drop.
There you go.
I'm out. Let's go for the whole thing. I got my people out there. They gotta know what's.
What's up? What do you think? Pretty cool, right? Here you go. I'll get you my microphone here too. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Thanks for coming with us on the show. Get this turned off. Suppose you want my microphone, don't you? All right. So demanding. You just stand at the door and demand my microphone.
I know you will.
All right. Sorry about this. Gotta take off my microphone.
I'm undressing him. Sorry, guys.
I think they might like it. You're undressing me. Maybe. We'll see. There we go. Hey, need website. CreditSuite.com. That's CreditSuite, SUITE. Look at all that love, man. Look at all the love of the Periscope.
You need a website?
How do we get involved?
You couldn't promote me?
CreditSuite.com is where you go to get started with us. Thank you very much. I appreciate that for the great presentation. So CreditSuite.com is where you can learn more about getting started with us. You can also go to CreditSuite.com/scope to get all of our previous Periscopes. CreditSuite.com/Periscope to get a free guide on building business credit. Oh, Lenny, thank you very much for putting the website in here. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Now, I'm going to take a small break, and then we're going to come back. And if you're thank you very much for all the love. Especially if you are in the credit repair world, you're going to love the next one because it's everything you need to know about offering business credit as a credit repair company. So there's a lot of cool things. So hopefully you enjoyed the presentation today. What do you think? Do you like it? Good
Awesome.
Stuff? All right. See that? Some good people. Good people here. You guys got to come to Tampa. Let's go back in the room and see what everybody else is doing. What do you think, Robert? Good? All right, man. See everybody?
That was sweet, dude.
Say hi to Periscope.
That was crazy.
Ah, that's cool, man. See, it's crazy. Good
Nuts.
stuff. What do you think? Good stuff?
I
Yes.
have a couple of questions.
All right, come on. You may ask. Let's tell us. What are your questions?
My question is, so it was a lot of information at once. It was amazing. But I'm just starting off. I quit my job a few months ago, and I really want to take my business from where I am now to,
Okay.
and I need the cash to do so. So,
Okay.
I mean, what is my first step? I know that you mentioned the entities.
Right.
Go out.
Well, yeah.
How do I go about doing that?
Well, talk to us out there and I'll map it out. But that's pretty much the step. You've got to get your corporation set up. You've got to get your entity. I mapped out the exact steps. Did you have kind of questions within the steps?
I mean,
you know what? Do me this. Come out there and we'll actually do a presentation and we'll show you step by step.
Okay. Yeah.
So that we've got a whiteboard out there or a board where you can schedule a consultation.
Okay.
I'll follow her.
Sure. All right. Perfect.
So I've been getting your emails for like 2 years.
All right. You gonna enroll us? Say hi to Periscope. Say hi, Periscope. Say hi. You're not being very nice.
Hi,
You should all say hi to her.
Hello. Who's that?
Nobody's saying hello. They're giving you love. They love you. See that? Look at that. They're saying,
So I've been
there you
trying
go.
to
Say
somehow-
hi, hello,
Hi.
hello.
So I got on your, somehow I'm on your email list for like 2 years.
Nice.
And every week I'm almost there, but now I met you, so now I'm there.
All right, cool.
So
Well,
I'm
let's
looking-
go. We'll go
Yeah.
out here and get you on scheduled for a demo. We'll take you like a wide
I
walkthrough.
have a whole.
Look,
you
look,
know,
they
I
love
do all
they
these-
love you. They're all giving you hearts out there.
Awesome.
Isn't that
I
cool?
have all these realtor like lunch and learn, breakfast, and all these.
Dave, can you get her scheduled? She wants to get you scheduled on a demo. He'll get you taken care of it. I'll see you here in a little bit. All right, what's up? What do you think?
Yo, listen, you did great.
See, they're behind the scenes here with us at Periscope. Periscope.
Ty.
What's
Ty
up?
Crandall.
What's up?
That's right. Ty Crandall.
Hello. He says, see, they say, what's up? They're giving you hearts. They say, what's up? Hi. They're saying hi. Hey, hi. That's our MC right there.
10 minutes.
Whoa, we're back in 10 minutes. Coming back. See, this is what happens. This is behind the scenes. What's up?
Put that in your pocket.
What is this?
That's
Okay, that's your info. Okay, cool.
Go on the website.
He does commercial real estate financing as well as
Yes, commercial real estate, credit repair. We do it all.
See that? That's what happens.
I appreciate that.
All right, man. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Got back in the credit repair.
All right, I appreciate the heart. So I'm taking you behind the scenes here. So look, what's going on? What's up? See that? Look, everybody's saying hi to you. Say hi to Periscope. Say hi, Periscope.
How you doing, Periscope?
There you go. Hey,
Great job. This
see
is the
that?
man
What's
right
up?
here.
They're all saying hi to you. See ya. Everybody, they're all new to Periscope here. They're not sure. They're unsure about who all you people are. What do you guys think? Say hi to Periscope. Say everybody.
Hey, Periscope.
What's up? What's up?
That's the man right here.
What's up? You guys
In the
enjoy
presence,
that?
in the presence of greatness.
Did you get some
here.
good stuff?
That's the man standing next to the man. I don't know about all
They're
that.
saying, hey.
What's
They
that?
said, hey, hey.
Your mouth to God's
they're all
ears.
giving you shots out right there. See that? You guys like that? Yeah? Did you get some good info?
Great
Yeah?
info.
All right. Thank you guys for coming. I'm glad.
Never disappointed.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna have to jump off. What do they do? A lot of them own credit repair companies, right? Say hi to everybody on Periscope. Say hi. Periscope. Yeah. Hey, guys. You guys all should say hi to Periscope. Hey, see. All right. I gotta jump off. We're coming back though. Don't worry. We're coming back. I'll be back on stage in like I don't know when. Let me find out when I'm back on stage. We're gonna do another presentation, and you're gonna get to go with us again to see the whole presentation behind the scenes like I'm doing now. I got a lot of questions to answer, and I got about 30 minutes I think to do it. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right, so let me see when we're going back up on stage, which I think is sometime soon here. Let me find out the schedule. Hey, what? Let me see. I'm on the schedule again at 4:30 to 5:30. What time is it now?
418.
4:18. So I should be back in like 12 minutes or so, about 4:30, and we're gonna go at it again. Say hi to Carmen. Oh, let's go say hi to Carmen and Kelly. You gotta say hi to Carmen. Say hi. Say hi to Periscope.
Hello.
Say hi to Periscope.
Hi.
Oh, look at that. They giving you love? Oh, look at that. See, they love you, ladies. They're saying hi.
Some love.
All right, where's the love? Come on, you gotta say hi and give them a shout out and give them some love. There we go. There we go. Man, why are you being so mean to people today? Come on, we gotta give them some love. All right, so listen, I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna see you in about 10, 15 minutes. I'm gonna go back on the second presentation. I'll see you then. I've gotta shut it out now. Ooh, beautiful. I'm gonna go tell them. Hey, they're saying beautiful.
Good.
All right, I got to talk to a bunch of people. I don't want to be rude to the people that are here. I'll be back. Give me like 15 minutes or so. We'll be back on stage. Keep your eyes out. All right, I'll see you guys. Sorry, hate to jump off, but I promise you I'll be back. All right, bye, everybody.